I just wanted to go back to the question about a gap in service. One thing that we experience quite a bit is transportation. Although we have some strong vessels of transportation throughout the city, that's a huge barrier. It seems like once the Mayo buses stop running, or once, after dark or after 6 p.m. is a real challenge. And a lot of school events, specifically coming from my agency, happen after that time. So we can often get families to school or to the events, and then how do we get them back home? The van services in Rochester are pretty extensive, but it costs about $50 one way to bring a family to an event. So if we're bringing a family to and from, it's $100 for that, for one family, for that one event. We do pay that for school as well. It's about $100 a day to school and home from school. There is a reimbursable there's a reimbursable process for school, but not for the after-school opportunities. So it's a barrier for youth because oftentimes they may not be able to participate in some of the extra opportunities because we can't find transportation to bring kids home. So I'd say that's a huge gap in service as well. I'm pleased that our 2 panel members are attending post-secondary education institutions. I also think that is a big barrier, is helping students, especially at the secondary level, once they have been courageous or brave enough to self-identify, then how are we helping to address the needs and access the financial aid that is available? And think about it. When I went to college, my parents attended a meeting and we figured out how to fill out all those financial aid forms. I don't know if I could do it again if I had to. They were really hard. But how can we help students to access scholarships and to access opportunities, to apply for programs, maybe even through Workforce Center, to apply for jobs to help bring them into another level? So I think those are 2 additional opportunities that we have a lot of gaps with right now. Finally, the housing. That gentleman over there said, where are they now? Wherever they can be. For the first time this year, and it just breaks my heart, I hope I can even say it, I've had families that come, and I've had to call Mary, or I've had to call and say, help me, because this mom is here, and I don't know where to send her at the end of the day. And my job is to get the bus and get the food. And so to send somebody away, not knowing where they're going to be at night, and I can't send the van or the bus to them to the next day because I don't know where they're going to go tonight. That is a yucky, yucky feeling, because we're all in service industry, and what do? We help people. And when you can't even find a place to send them to, it's very difficult. And when you look into their child's eyes, you don't want to be responsible for that. So housing and shelters is still just, we're really short there as far as the city, because we're sending them away and we don't know where they're sleeping at night, and that's not pleasant.
We'll take another minute or so. Let's go over here real quick, and then we'll come back to you, Teresa.
I was just going to let everyone know there is a resource for collective health and human services. It's 211. It's a free number. If you are calling from a cell phone, you do have to call an 800 number, 1-800-543-7709. But it is only as strong as the agencies and organizations that put that information into the system. So this number is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's statewide, so when somebody does call, they'll ask what area code are they calling from, and then they'll be able to pull resources for health and human services. It's also across the United States. It's not covered in every single county or city, but it's about 70 or 75% coverage. So I just really want to let you all know that there are those resources out there, and it is that one, primary place to start your search in terms of finding health and human service resources.
Thank you. Go ahead, Teresa.
I think one of the biggest things that can be a gap when serving youth is advocacy. We don't know. We don't know what's out there, and we're not told what's out there until it's kind of too late. I mean, it's really difficult. I wasn't told anything coming out of the foster care system. I remember doing all of my college forms. I didn't know how to do them. I did them all myself. I had to do research after research after research in order to figure out what am I doing. And even now, reapplying every year to be at college is still difficult. Tax season is here. I am really bad with doing my taxes. I mean, I wasn't taught. And learning.
A lot of us still are.
Yeah, but I don't have a car or a house or any of that stuff. But it's just one of those things where, like with Link, the biggest problem with Link is advocacy. People don't know. They don't know that Link even exists. I mean, talk to someone at the Y that goes to the Y every day to work out. They don't know what Link is. And you'd think that, well, we're part of the Y. Everyone should know about the Link because of the Y, but that's not the case. I mean, yes, we got our brochures and everything, but they don't go everywhere in town. We don't throw them out the door of an airplane or something and have them land in the streets or whatever. So.
And I can personally attest to another program in town that a lot of the churches are supplying backpacks to elementary kids. And my wife and I were just astonished at our church to read it in the bulletin one day that 20 kids at our church, at our kids' school, are getting backpacks with food in them because over the weekend or over holidays or whatever, they otherwise may not have anything to eat. And,
Actually, that's for two buildings, Bamber Valley and Bishop
Yeah.
Elementary, and the program is growing and expanding, and part of the outreach of Autumn Ridge is to help churches understand what they're doing so that they can duplicate the process. And the community, a lot of community vendors or restaurants donate that food, and then it's packed up by that organization, and then it's delivered to kids. And sometimes it's not just for homeless. It could be kids that are in situations where their families don't meet the requirements for free and reduced lunch. It could be a family with a lot of kids in a divorce situation, but maybe the alimony payments aren't being made, or a variety of things like that. So that is an incredible outreach, and people are taking off on that. We've had donations of quilts and lots of different pieces where people see how that type of giving can really benefit kids directly. So thanks for bringing that up.
All right, well, do we have one other? Okay.
Hi, I'm Janet Kruger. One of the issues I have is the intersection between social services and the justice system. One of the statistics that I haven't heard you talking about is the number of homeless youth that are identified because they come into the justice system with criminal charges. And it seems like the process that we have right now of saddling more and more of these kids with criminal records is just not helpful. And I end up with kids that are brought in on a 911 call because they were called into a domestic situation. And often if you have an alcoholic parent and the police get called in, the easiest person to remove from that situation is the child. And then the child ends up with a charge and a criminal record, and there isn't any way to stop that. And a lot of these services are a lot more difficult to access after you have that record. And I think we have to acknowledge the crime piece of this and the fact that we have hungry, unhappy, unserved children out there who almost have no choice but to commit crimes. And once we drop them over into the criminal justice side of the world, we start shutting doors on the social services side, and we almost cement their future as having no choice but to build a career as a criminal. And that shouldn't be part of our community's dream.